All right, feel free to add your questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop YouTube since we're almost out of power, but I'm going to keep going here on TikTok. So those of you on YouTube, if you will head over to TikTok now, make sure you like and follow before you get off. TikTokers, make sure you like and follow as well so that you can come back to see other cooking days that we're having or to see the end results of this, because I will do some camera action on that because it is impressive when you see it all together. All right, so bye YouTube. All right, I'm gonna go plug this in. Also starting to lose some light, so as far as the outdoor natural light that we have, so I may need to plug the camera in or the lights in, but these are the beef stroganoffs that we started to. I literally did all this on camera, so over the last couple hours I have been prepping. Normally we prep and cook on separate occasions, but because I'm only doing 3 recipes, and I decided to do it all at once. And honestly, once a month meals makes it pretty easy for me. So I'm supposed to get at least 6 meals out of this beef stroganoff, but I think I'm gonna get more. Now, this, I don't know that you can see it, but I was talking about these Dream Farm spoons. This spoon, let's see if I can get it at an angle. Do you see the ridges on the spoon? Let's see. Do you see the outline grooves on that spoon? It actually has measuring. So it's hard for me to read on this color. I'm gonna have to see if I can see it on the other colors. But it is also helps with portion control. So just let's say right there. So I think this is 1 tablespoon and then this is 1 teaspoon. I'm going to be using cup measuring with this. And so I'm going to go get a cup. Now, you don't have to measure this out. You could just wing it or eyeball it or whatever. However, we're at the time of year where most people are eating healthier, having more awareness, trying to do portion control. And if that is you, one of the easiest ways that you can do that is through actually using portion control containers and actually using an actual measuring cup to portion out the different recipes. Now, in the once a month meal system, every recipe has nutritional information on it, and it tells you what 1 serving is. And so it might be 3/4 of a cup. It might be 1 cup. That is, and it gives you all the nutritional information if you want to look at it. If you don't want to look at it, that's fine too. I'm going to use this just for portion control purposes and actually just get an eyeball. I recommend doing, whether you count calories or whatever with portion control, I love to periodically remind myself, what is 1 serving? Because a lot of times we think 1 serving is very different than what 1 serving is. So this is 3/4 of a cup. That's a pretty generous proportion. It fills it up nicely. So I'm going to use it on each one and then see how many I get, and then maybe add a little bit more. I like the saucy part of beef stroganoff. You could make this recipe and not single serving portion. This one has a lot of beef in it, so it's like let's distribute some of that beef, okay? Yep, easily gonna have at least 8 of these. Although, I think I'm gonna do this one for dinner. So, I'm going to, it will make 8 servings, but I'm working up quite an appetite after all of this. And so I am going to portion one of them up into a bowl that I will probably have to reheat when I'm done here. So there's, I'm running out of counter space. I made the pasta while we were on camera as well. Been very efficient. And then what I'm gonna do is put green vegetables in the other pockets of these serving containers. So there are 1 cup portions on each side. I will put either green beans or peas, or probably half green beans, half peas, so that when I go to get these meals, I easily have vegetable warmed up as well. And I have greens with my beef stroganoff to balance it out with, even if I don't have a salad, like a lot of times I'll have a salad with this too, but I can make that fresh. And so even if I don't have access to a salad or I need something fast, I'm also getting my greens in. They're already built into this meal when I do it. So I was supposed to get at least 6 servings out of this. It looks like I have gotten 8. I'm just going to distribute the rest amongst what's here. These are Swiss diamond pans, also amazing. Very don't have to use oil really, as much oil as you would with like normal pans, which makes them really nice, but they're not got that non-stick coating on them either. For those who are trying to stay away from that. All right, I need to go check on my chicken, don't I? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, now I don't have the green vegetables that I'm gonna put in these, so I am gonna just go ahead. Actually, I'm not gonna lid them right now. As we talked about, well, actually this is cool. So this beef stroganoff had been cooling off. We had talked about one of the reasons that you get freezer burn or a lot of condensation on your meals is that you, if they're still steaming, this one is not steaming, and you put the lid on, all that condensation builds up on the lid and then freezes. And that's why you have ice and then thus freezer burn. So this is cooled enough that I can put the lid on and not get that condensation, and it's ready for the freezer. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Once I get those green vegetables, I'll just open these back up and put the green vegetables with them as well, so that they're ready to go. And then I have the egg roll in a bowl right here too. We can see how far I've gotten. And then I'm also going to then portion up the chicken fajitas. And I will have to sit and let those cool. So you want to make sure they're nice and tight. All right, so I have 6, actually 7 of these. I was commenting earlier that I have a small chest freezer, like the smallest box chest freezer you can get. And these paired with these very nicely. So in the freezer, they're kind of like a puzzle. They go in like this to fit really well. So I try when I am making a meal plan to do some in these type of containers and then some in these type of containers. These are the egg rolls in a bowl that we did earlier. I add rice to those, even though they're supposed to be low carb. I add the carbs to them on the day that I make them. And so this is what I have done so far, and we still have the chicken fajitas to go. So I'm going to move these to the side. They are not in any danger by not being utilized yet. I'm not worried about that. In terms of not being in the freezer yet, they haven't been out long enough to go bad. They will go into the freezer before they have a chance to spoil, don't you worry. I just want you to see the magic that's happened over the last couple of hours. All right, now, these white containers were purchased on Amazon. These containers were from the Dollar Tree. It's hard for me. Is there a reason why you didn't use egg noodles, or is it just what you had? Great. It is just what I had. I eat gluten-free as well, and so gluten-free egg noodles are so much more expensive and kind of disintegrate faster. And I don't mind freezing them, but I used Berea. Berea pasta, in my opinion, for gluten-free, is the best at holding up in the freezer. Both taste, texture, and like just holding up as a noodle. And I still enjoy the taste. And to boot, they're super economical. They're they're one of the least expensive gluten-free noodles out there. And so I used a Berea because again, but it's a great question because you can substitute. If you don't have egg noodles, use something else. Where did you purchase? Oh, good. I didn't even see your questions. I just felt them. So yes, these containers also came from the Dollar Tree. They used to be 2 for $1. They're probably is a Dollar Tree up to like $1.25 now, and they're probably still 2 to container. They work really well too. I like these. I'm going to use these for my chicken fajitas. And as far as my freezer puzzle goes of like matrixing this to all fit, these fit in the space above these, but take up a little less room. And the reason, so I did my fajitas. Last time I did this, this one that's not filled. I did my chicken fajitas here, and then I did my Mexican rice here. And I didn't necessarily like to have it separated. A lot of times I like to have things separated, but I didn't fancy these containers for that. So this time I'm trying these, and I'm gonna do chicken fajitas on one side and my Mexican rice here. And again, I don't have the Mexican rice yet, but we can see the chicken fajita part. In fact, my chicken for my chicken fajitas is done. Now, it is absolutely not cooled. So, what I am going to do here is I am going to use 1 chicken tender per fajita. I am going to put this here so I can see the comments. Otherwise I can't see the comments. All right, so I'm gonna do 1 chicken tender per for a good proportion setting. All right, I'm going to shred this in just a minute, and I'm going to add the veggies separately after I shred this chicken. You'll see why I'm doing it like this in just a second. I am making these into chicken fajitas. If I was just gonna eat them as chicken fajitas and put them in a tortilla, absolutely I could just leave this this way. This chicken is gonna fall apart anyway, when I go to dice it. However, I tend to eat these with nachos or as nachos more than eating them with corn tortillas. And so, or flour tortillas, because I'm gluten-free, so we don't do flour tortillas. So once I can get this pan out of the way, so I'm gonna end up with 10 of these instead of 6 of these, but who's complaining about that? All right, now I'm out of those little containers. So I'm just gonna do one in a small container. All right. So I am going to shred this chicken up, because it's very easy to do, now that it's nice and cooked and tender, into just some littler pieces. This does a couple of things for me. One, because I eat it on nachos and it's already portioned out. It's already like apart. The other thing it's going to do is help with the reheating, so that it doesn't take as long to reheat shredded chicken as it does to reheat a chicken tender. So, where are you from? Do you meal prep? Are you starting to think about what you're having for dinner tonight? Am I inspiring you or making you crave chicken fajitas or beef stroganoff? Do you have questions? I have been at this for about 2.5 hours, from prep, so from ingredients not prepped, to almost finished with 18 plus single serving meals for myself. That's what I'm doing here. You can see a lot of the meals that are done. Instant Pot, egg roll in a bowl, chicken fajitas. Yum. I have saved one of the beef stroganoffs to have as soon as I'm finished here as my reward meal before I start on the dishes. Although part of me is thinking I might just need to do the dishes first. I don't know about you, but kitchen cleanup is not my thing. I prefer to have, no, I hate it. And so last time I did a freezer cooking day, it felt so good to just do the dishes immediately following getting done cooking and off camera. And then just sit, because I don't know about you, but once I sit down, I'm done. There's just no more in me. So I know when I sit down to enjoy my beef stroganoff over there, it's gonna be done. I'm gonna lose my stamina. Now, I was gonna work out this morning, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because this is a workout in and of itself. You're on your feet. I did put my workout shoes on so that I have a nice structure under my feet, nice support system on my feet. So I just strongly, it is a little bit of a workout. I'm doing 3 single serving meals, and I have used the Once a Month Meals software to create a meal plan for myself, and I'm cooking it. And I do single serving meals because I am 50% of the time a single mom without her kids, and then the other 50% of the time when they're here, we don't tend to like the same things, and so we eat differently, and so we make meals differently. So there's the shredded chicken that I'm going to add veggies to. Let me check the comments before I go get the veggies. How long do meals last in the freezer? How often do I meal prep? Just tuned in. Hello. Is it Reenie? I like to say people's names. Thank you for tuning in. You just wore me out. I need a nap. Hello. Oh, so many great comments. The chicken you just finished is in 2 containers. Okay, so freezer meals last at least 6 months to a year in your freezer. The longer they're in your freezer, the more quality they lose. They don't lose food safety. So you're not going to lose, you're not going to get sick by eating a meal that's been in your freezer for a year, but you are going to lose quality. It's not going to taste as good. And so they last a long time, especially longer than meals in your refrigerator. This is a great way to use up ingredients and make sure that they don't go to waste. We just did a series, and in our profile, we have a landing page called Time Equals Money Equals Power. And it brings awareness to all of the time and money and energetic leaks that we have around the kitchen. And Once a Month Meals solves a lot of those for you, because we waste so much food in our refrigerator. Like, just go to your refrigerator right now. What amount of food is about to spoil? What's the cost of that food that you're gonna lose because you haven't incorporated it into a meal and it's not in your freezer? I'm not going to lose the value of this food that I've purchased because it's going to be in a meal and it's going to be in my freezer and it's going to last me 6 months. So if I don't feel like eating these for another couple of months, then I have a couple of months. I do about 3 recipes like this. 6 to 8 servings of each recipe about once a month. I know we're once a month meals. This is a small, I guess it is almost I will make close to 30 meals. And I just eat these periodically. I still eat other stuff. When I feel like cooking, I will cook, or if something else strikes my fancy, but I don't have to. I don't have to. I just found another container. I'm gonna pair this with Mexican rice. So I do this about once a month, but we are once a month meals. Doing once a month cooking day usually is about 10 to 15 recipes doubled. We don't recommend that for anybody starting. I was saying at the beginning of this live, saying you're gonna do a month's worth of meals for your first freezer cooking day, if you've never done this type of cooking and meal planning and prep, is the equivalent of saying, you know what, I've never run, but I think I'm gonna get started with a marathon this weekend. I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna go run a 26-mile marathon. And you've never run before. Who would do that? No one. Absolutely no one. I don't think in the history of humankind anybody has had that rational thinking. You should not think, you know what, I would love to try once a month meals. Let me go do a month's worth of cooking my first go round. Hell no. So we have our software, and our website is designed to guide you into what is your meal planning persona? What is your freezer cooking persona? What is your, when you go to paid membership, it will walk you through a questionnaire of helping us determine what is your cooking style? What are the recipes that are right for you and the style that's right for you, and get you pointed in the right direction of a really good meal plan to start with. You can also go over and get a free membership today. So as I suspected, there's a lot more veggies here. If you get a free membership, it will allow you to check out our recipes and the things that we're doing. In order for you to see if there's recipes that your family would like, you could even make those recipes and cook them tonight for dinner. We don't give you the freezer cooking instructions unless you're a paid member, but it will help you to see if this system will work for you. And again, all of those links are in our bio so that you can look them up and access that. On the Time Money Power page, in addition to being able to get a free membership, you also can get a free budget-friendly once-a-month meal plan that has 6 recipes on it that are budget-friendly, that you will get all the documentation for so that you could try this out for yourself. And we chose budget-friendly because it's going to save you time and money, and I don't know any of us who couldn't use more time and more money in our lives. And so that is a very popular meal plan of ours. All right. looks like I'm gonna have some extra veggies. I think this, I don't know if it needs to cool anymore. I think it's cooled pretty good. So for the sake of ending up here, let's go ahead and lid these. So I am on my last recipe. I am going to come back and add, I'm gonna make some Instant Pot Mexican rice like you get at the Mexican restaurant and put that in here. But I'm not going to do that right now. So I am going to get these ready. And I will answer any of your questions that you have as well. But I do need to get off soon so I can get these in the freezer. Excuse my reach. Well, it looks like we're missing some lids. So, looks like we're missing 2 lids. No problem. Just more dishes. All right, so it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fajitas. 10 Instant Pot egg rolls in a bowl, and 8 beef stroganoffs. So, who can do the math for me? That's the only math you have to do with once a month meals. Now, adding up your recipes. We usually do the math for you. All right. So, this is what's gonna go, let's see. That's a pretty decent shot, right? Oh wait, there's more back here. There's more. All right, this is it. I have spent the last 2.5 hours, 2:22 on the clock. I will answer some of your questions, but these are the meals I'm making. I'm going to put some green beans or frozen peas in the beef stroganoff ones. I'm going to add some Mexican rice to these later tonight. I will try to take some pictures and do that as well. If you are not liking and following us, will you please do so? Again, I've talked about some resources where you can get a free meal plan to do this for yourself. You can also get a free membership over at OHM to kind of play with the system and try things out. We would love for you to do that. Join us, ask us questions, both in our feed and I am the founder and creator of what is Once a Month Meals or Cook with OHM, but I still freezer cook every month. I eat this way. It's changed, but I love the very thing that I created, and I created it to help you be efficient in the kitchen, help you do things in the kitchen and not spend as much time in the kitchen. We're assuming that even if you like to cook, you don't like to cook every day. And when you have to, and there's probably other things you'd like to be doing in life. What are some of the other things you would prefer to be doing other than cooking a meal every night? You tell me. What would you like? All right, let's see if we can answer some questions. Let me come around here before I get off. And I need to clean up. It's so hard to see with this. I've been putting this in so I can actually see. How long do they last in a regular Tupperware? Let me slow down. How long do they last in regular Tupperware containers? Do you hear them from frozen? Do you heat them from frozen? I got the autocorrect on that one. Yes, you, excuse me, hold on. I gotta get a cat away from, hey, get down. They will last 6 months to a year. They don't last in my freezer 6 months to a year. There's no way. They last, I do this about every month and a half, 2 months. It just kind of depends on the season. And I do heat them from frozen. So I just put them in the microwave for 3 to 5 minutes. You can do it on the defrost setting. This is chicken fajitas. I add Mexican rice to this. And eat it as nachos and queso, and eat it as nachos. This is egg roll in a bowl. It's meant to be low carb, but I add carbs to it. I add single serving rice to it, and sometimes I eat it with an egg roll. And then there's beef stroganoff with noodles, and then green veggies that I do as well. If meals are hard for you to eat, then just prep veggies, grain, and protein to make meals with. You can do that, absolutely. But I strongly, strongly encourage you to just go ahead and incorporate them into a meal and freeze them. We here at OHM built a system of 13,000 recipes that are meant to be frozen, and they're tested by test cooks. Because how often do you prep those veggies, grain, and protein, and then they go to waste, or you don't use them? And yes, you can put them in the freezer, but then you still have to spend time on the daily making meals out of them or doing them. So that is an awesome first step, and I wouldn't ever discourage anybody from using them. But I often find, at least in my case, and if you're like me, TikTok probably brought you here because you're like me, you get frustrated and you get hangry, and life happens and you don't have time to make a full meal. When it's made in a full meal and it's in my freezer, I don't have to worry about wasting any of these ingredients and the money that goes with them. How often do we not equate the dollar amount of those foods that we're throwing away? That landing page that we gave you, Time Equals Money Equals Power, walks you through some awareness around some money leaks that you have in the kitchen that we might be able to help you with. And if nothing else, you can go get an awareness of it there. They don't get freezer burnt in the Tupperware. You have to let them cool so that there's not all of that condensation. So we talked about this earlier. If you make a meal and it's steaming and you put the lid on it while it's steaming hot, it's going to create all this condensation on the top of the container. And then that condensation is going to get frozen, and that's where you get the ice and the freezer burn. If you allow them to cool, as we have here, before you put the lids on them, you're good to go. All right, what else? Can you name the meals you made? Tangy beef stroganoff, and I will try to these are all found in the Once a Month Meals database. If you go to free membership, you sign up for a free membership, no credit card needed. You can actually look these recipes up. I will try to indicate them somewhere. Tangy beef stroganoff, Instant Pot egg roll in a bowl by Art from My Table. We have like 6 different versions of egg roll in a bowl on our site. We don't just have one. And then skillet chicken fajitas from Maria Makes. Skillet chicken fajitas from Maria Makes in the Once a Month meal system. We probably have 3 pages of chicken fajita recipes to choose from as well. So lots and lots of things to choose from. All right, let me see what other questions have come in. I can't stand to throw food out. I think I may start with at least spaghetti. Yes, and there's spaghetti sauce recipes. There's the sky is the limit. And I think starting with one recipe is great. Like if you just make that, try it out, freeze it. I have sometimes done I've picked 3 recipes and done all the prep for it on Sunday. And then on Monday night, I made 1 recipe and ate 1 portion and then froze the other 8 and did that every night for a week. There's so many ways that you can do this. Once a month meals really just wants to support you in a couple different ways. We want to help you get your time and your money back from life. So you get your time back by spending less time in the kitchen. So we've created efficiencies like you pick the recipes, you scale them, and we'll hand you a grocery store list ready for the grocery store that tells you how you need to buy it at the grocery store. Like, what are you talking about, Trisha? Well, we can't tell you to buy 3 cups of onion at the grocery store, and do you know how much 3 cups of diced onions, how many onions that is? Who wants to think about that? Well, we've already thought of that for you. So we're gonna tell you how many onions to buy. We're gonna tell you how many ounces to buy. And then you're buying, hopefully, and if you make meal plans that use like ingredients, this becomes really easy. And then we tell you how to prep. You're saving time by doing all of the prep for these recipes at one time. And then you're saving time by we have great articles on this in that Time Money Power page that's linked in our bio about all of the time savings and the money savings and helping you just to do this quicker and easier so that you're not making meals daily. I hate to make meals daily. Meals daily means dishes daily. I don't like dishes daily. You always make your own sauce, Tina. Tina, you're still here. Yeah, and there's other sauce recipes in the system, but you could totally, and you can't add your own recipes to the system because there's so much microdata with each recipe on our site. Because all of these recipes are geared for freezer cooking, we have adapted them to be cooking times and quantities to be right for the freezer. And then we give you a cooking order. So if you pick 5 recipes, we're gonna tell you what order to cook them in for maximum efficiency. And that includes indicating when a recipe is inactive versus active. Well, what do you mean? Well, an inactive recipe might be an Instant Pot recipe. You put all of the ingredients in the Instant Pot, you set it, and now it's inactive, meaning you can go on to something else and cook something else while that is cooking, which is what I did today during this live. When you do that, you gain time. Like that's gonna be inactive for 20 minutes. Go do this recipe and prep this recipe and cook that on the stove while this one is in the Instant Pot. And then it just keeps you rolling along and on task. ADHD folks, who are my ADHD folks? It keeps you on task. What is my next task? What is my next thing? And that can be a huge time savings too. This would be awesome for my living condition with 2 boys. Would be good for lunches with a lunch. Absolutely. And there are recipes labeled by lunch. There are recipes. We have a lot of, I don't know how old your 2 boys are, but we also have like school lunch, packed lunches, things that don't need warmed up. So many things. If it is labeled or tagged as a lunch in the Once a Month Meals database, it is considered either doesn't need reheated or is reheated in a microwave, because we're assuming that you're at a place that does not have a stove, an Instant Pot, or whatever. You met with a lunchbox warmer. Yes. Absolutely. Or a thermos. We have a lot of thermos recipes as well because we do a lot of back to school stuff. In fact, do you know, speaking of lunch warmers, I have one back in the back. I made beef stroganoff, tangy beef stroganoff, Instant Pot, egg roll in a bowl, and I made skillet chicken fajitas. You cook for a living, and the last thing I want to do when I get home is cook more. Exactly. I used to work in a restaurant, and I would love, Elizabeth, to hear your feedback on Once a Month Meals. If you go and you try it out, maybe you get the free meal plan that's on our Time Money Power page, the budget-friendly one, and give that a whirl. I'd love for you to give us some feedback on, as somebody who does food prep, I used to be a restaurant manager. This software was built with that in mind, with restaurant efficiencies. So it's like once a month meals becomes your restaurant sous chef. It becomes your kitchen sous chef. Like it tells you what to do, when to do it. Like if you're in food prep at all, or if you've ever been in food prep in the kitchen, you come into your job and there is a prep list for the day. And it's usually given in order and quantities, and like there is a rhyme and a reason to everything. And that is what is in the once a month meal software. That is what our algorithm is built on, is giving you that restaurant level efficiency at home for yourself. Yes, so I don't know what kind of warmer you have, but this is a favorite of mine. Again, not sponsored. This company is the first company I was ever introduced in terms of warmers. Hot Logic, the Hot Logic Mini, and it's taken apart because we had to use it for something else. Again, not sponsored, just a product I love. I think it is also linked in our Amazon store, but this is the warmer for it that comes with it. And you can use glass, or if you prefer, I usually use glass in it and not plastic, but it's totally up to you. And it has a plug, and they also have a car charging adapter. So instead of the plug version, you could buy the car adapter. So it could be for truckers or anybody. This is great for school teachers. Like if you work in an office, right? Like you could make your single serving meal. I don't know if these containers fit in there or not. I haven't tried it. But you buy single serving containers that fit in here. And then, honestly, from frozen, literally from frozen, you could put it in the morning. It does fit in here. Okay. You put it in here. You shut it. You plug it in, and it will be heated to edible by the time lunch rolls around if you do this at the start of the day. So the Lunch Ease one has no cords, and you can set the time for it to warm up and control them from an app. I'm gonna have to look these up. Thanks, crazy lady. I'm gonna follow you so that if I can't remember, let's do this. It's been a long time since I've looked into these warmers, so I love that. I will look into them. We will add them to our Amazon store if we can. If not, I'm gonna take this meal out because I'm gonna forget that it's here. All right, what else? What else are we gonna talk about? I have got to go soon because I've been on for like 3 hours and I'm hungry and I gotta get these meals in the freezer. Okay, well, good. Maybe we'll see about doing a little co-collaboration with them. I love that. Do I only shop Amazon? Absolutely not. I prefer to shop local and small businesses. I'm doing this because I can't see the comments otherwise. But I love supporting small entrepreneurs. That's me. I try to go to Amazon last, or when I'm in dire straits, and also look up. Also, we have an Amazon store that we link to. But absolutely, I love finding these small entrepreneurs that have amazing ideas. That's actually how I got in touch with Hot Logic. I don't know that Hot Logic was on Amazon at one point, but Amazon does make things easier. I live in an and world, small business and Amazon. I don't think it's one or the other. I have tried to function on both extremes and it just doesn't work for me. I'm an and, small business and Amazon. My website is Once a Month Meals, so it's right here. So we are called Cook with Om on TikTok. If you go, after I end this live in a minute, to our profile, you will see links to our site, to our YouTube channel, to our Instagram, to where to go to get a free membership with us and explore our recipes. I thank you so much for those of you who have been here for quite some time. I think Tina, if she's still here, has been around. The likes, the loves, the hearts, the roses, all of it. I am going to crash and take note that most of you come out around 3 o'clock. Are you all in the drive line for, oh, you joined the free membership. So glad to see that. Again, please let me know what you think. If it works for you, if it doesn't work for you. We've honed it over years. We've existed for almost 14 years now. So it is it's something I'm very proud of. Love the people that have done this with me. Love doing it still. I love helping you to find different ways to be efficient in the kitchen and make meals easier, because we have to do it every day. We have to do it every day. So anyway, I'm gonna go get these meals in the freezer. It's been lovely seeing you. Thank you for joining me.